What's up, guys? It's your boys Wilkie back with another Nicole Kessinger / Chris Watts video. Yes, there, like I've said this many of times, I won't stop. Okay, everybody keeps saying it's an old case, it's done, it's over with. Cold cases and cases can reopen, can be brought back, and this one definitely needs to be brought back because Nicole Kessinger cannot get away with this. She needs to be held accountable for something, some part of this, and we're going to keep diving deep and deep and deep. And this girl from J is for Justice podcast apparently gets documents from the Wisconsin Bureau of Prisons on Chris Watts, and we're going to take a look even deeper in everything when it comes to Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger and the marital affairs. So, with that being said, what I want you guys to do before we go any further is subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the white bar icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it so when I do post videos like this one, you'll get that little ring notification that Wilkie myself has posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. Also, make sure you guys go over to this channel called J is for Justice. She's close to 100K, so make sure you guys go give her some love. It seems like she's on the same point that we don't want to let this case die. We don't want to let this case go. We want justice for the Watts girls. I'm not even going to say Watts girls because Chris Watts has no or should have no affiliation with them anymore. It's Shanann, Bella, Cece, and baby Nico. They unfortunately lost their lives due to this grotesque and monstrous man they called a father and husband. I'm not going to get into the details about that, but it's sickening, and I want justice for them. And I don't feel it with Chris being in there by himself. It's complete justice. This woman came in, swooped, and hunted this man for her own personal pleasure and gain, ruined a family, and she has a lot to hide, a lot of secrets, a lot of lies, and I want to bring them to the light just like this woman does, and a lot of other people as well. So I'm not taking credit for any of her documents or anything that she has found. Again, this video for myself and for you guys to watch is for educational and entertainment purposes. This is in no need or no where to make any determinations or any. It's for theories and opinions. It's not for disrespect or anything like that. It's my disclaimer that I want to keep this respectful, but I want to find the answers that we need, that we all want. That Nicole Kessinger be brought and found to be included and accessory with Chris. If it's physical, if it's some type of, she was in it some type, way, or form. We just don't know exactly if it was physical, if it was the whole phone thing with her pictures, her emails, why her phone pinged that morning in the location of the Chris Watts home. A lot of things we're going to be talking about in this video, and then also the other videos will be posted in the description below for you guys to take a look at for the dark arts that she had been working with. A lot of people want me to look in it. Possibly it was Chris hexed or possessed, which I doubt. He had control over this, but he was also influenced by the wrong mind, which is his head down there, because he wanted to start anew with Nicole and leave Shanann. So that being said, let's get into this YouTube channel, J is for Justice podcast. This is called New Documents on Chris Watts, Mistresses, or the Mistress Dives Deep. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay and I'm your host.
Hello.
Today's video is on Chris Watts. I know. It's over. The case is over, Jay. It's an old case, Jay. I understand that. But I got a piece of information from the Wisconsin Bureau of Prisons, and I was going to make a simple video and just show you guys this crazy information.
I want to see it.
And then as I started to make the video, it turned into this deep dive into Chris Watts' alleged affairs.
Ooh.
So let's get into today's video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you want more.
Do it. That whole connection with him, I think it's false. I think it was just a cover-up.
Take it down in 1, 2, 3. I don't like my boys too sweet. I don't worry about you. Just worry about me, so you better run, run. You don't know what I mean. Take it down in 1, 2, 3. Phone is buzzing up, beep, beep. I don't care about you, I just care about me. So you better run, run. Take your pretty
I think that was
outfit and go.
fake
Show
too.
yourself right out of my zone. Now before I lose my control.
It was just one mistress.
Grass is always greener, you know. So
And that was
used to stand in
Nicole.
the road. Run back home to mama, let's go. Run boy run, run boy run, run boy run away. Run boy run, run boy run, run boy run away. Run boy run, run boy run, run boy run away. Run boy run, run boy run, run boy run away. Run away.
I can see it in your eyes and in your chest. It's maybe hard to talk about. Is that fair? Okay, fair enough.
He sought me out originally, but there was a time where I thought he was going to bail out, so.
Okay. He finds you, you guys meet, money and sex. Is that right? Okay. How much money?
That was the time, it was 250.
Oh, okay. First time, 250. Sex was oral sex? Okay.
I think it was
you
just
perform on him? Does he
his
perform
15
on
minutes
you?
of fame.
Yes, but not the climax.
Okay. And then tell me about the negotiation. How does that work? Was there anything about the pre-meeting where he knew he needed to bring money?
Yeah, it was insinuated.
Okay. And how was that?
I put out there half-jokingly that I don't do anything for free with someone that I don't know from a hole in the ground.
Okay.
Then we got in my back seat and he just got really aggressive and there was no oral sex or anything. It just went to intercourse.
Okay. It's important for us to kind of get some of those details, and I'm sure it's uncomfortable to talk about. Was it him having sex with you or you having sex with him?
Yes.
Okay.
It was him having sex with me.
Him having sex with you. Okay. Okay. So then it sounds like he really is, at least bi or maybe even gay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you think he felt like he was more bisexual or gay?
I thought that it was going to come out that whoever he was having a relationship with at work.
I don't believe this for
I
a
don't know if
second,
it's
just
true
throwing
or
that
not.
out there.
I thought it was going to be a male of 100%. It
Oh.
was going to be a male.
The reason why this guy's even involved is because they wanted to get the heat off of Nicole, including those other mistresses that apparently came forward. Nicole is trying to get these guys to get the heat off of her, is what happened.
Interesting. Is that what you thought? Okay.
And he put his right hand on my face and just pushed down harder. Or my face kept going under the seat.
Are you talking about your head or your face or
My
what?
face.
He was behind you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Doggy style.
Okay.
And I wasn't up like this. My back was arched.
Wow, lots to unpack there. There's some key takeaways from Trent's interview that I wanted to point out to you guys. Number one, to me, he looks shamed. He doesn't look excited to be talking about this. He doesn't look excited to be sitting in an interrogation room talking about this incident with a man that is now arrested for annihilating his family. A lot of people thought, and I did too at the time, that he was just looking for attention. But if you listen to the whole interview, he actually does talk to Graham Coder, the detective, about being trafficked at the age of 14. So there's a lot going on with Trent Bolt, but I'm not getting the feeling that he's doing this for any kind of clout or lying about this. Let me know what you guys think. Now, before we get into what I got from the Wisconsin Bureau of Prisons, I want
Okay.
to preface this with playing. I want to preface this by playing some clips of Chris Watts during his Wisconsin interview in March of 2019.
They sent me a letter and it has like someone sent me a Christmas card with glitter on it. They let me have it because it's glitter. Because it's contraband. So I don't know how people get cell phones and stuff on here.
So what do you do with all these letters that are coming into you?
Most of them, I just have this. If somebody writes me once, I'll never write them. just because I don't know like who they are, like where they're from. I'll keep it. If it's like a weird letter, I'll straight up throw it away. If it's like a supportive letter, I'll keep it around, just like a supportive letter. And then like
A supportive letter because you annihilated your family?
I've had some people like write me like a second and third time, but they've changed the way they talk, or like they've said different things. Like there's like this dude in like California that wrote me. He's a senior in high school, and wrote me. He's like, okay, dude. I look up the name, like, okay, shut it up, threw it away. He wrote me again like 2 weeks ago, totally different. Like never mentioned like his age, never mentioned his setting. Like, hey, like I support you. I'm like all this, like that. Like if I didn't recognize his name, I would have known like he was just an 18-year-old kid, senior, trying to just like probably just get information, trying to because there's been like journalists and like other people like you can kind of tell like they ask a lot of questions. But I tried to like take into effect who's writing me and like just not to respond. Like I've responded to a few people just because like either my parents have talked to them on the outside, and then I kind of know okay it's a real person.
Oh.
But like there's some people that like it seems like they're just trying like to get help for themselves too. Like some people ask like like just for spiritual advice.
They're asking for spiritual advice from you.
Yeah, like if they're not asking about the case, I'll write them back. If they ask about the case, I don't write them back.
Because you're
You think
shamed.
you'll be in love again? There's a lot of women out there that are in love with you.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm not the guy that's down the street or whatever it is. I've heard enough about that guy. Still in here.
What have you heard about him?
The guy engaged over a letter.
He did, yeah.
That's pretty insane. But yeah, I don't see myself being in love ever again.
He doesn't deserve it.
Do you have some ladies that are giving you a lot of, like, just telling you that they're in love with you and that kind of
Which
stuff?
Nicole apparently
I've
is
had a
one of
couple
them.
letters that have been like, I think you get a lot of letters from lady friends that tell you all you need to know. I'm like, I don't get those letters. Trust me. Like I guess there was one letter in Colorado, someone sent me a picture of them in the key.
We're supposed to trust this man. Trust me. We're not trusting you, Chris. We're not. We don't give a two craps that you trust because you told us that you wanted your family back and you wanted anything to do to get them back. But little did us know people know is you murdered them. And then we found out later on that you did. So we're not trusting you.
And it's like went on from there. That was like the only letter I ever got. That was like that. But the press took it and just went with it. Yeah. If I never met Nikki, would I ever have, thought our relationship was bad? Probably not. That's one thing I always thought about. Like, even Nikki asked me, like, if I don't want you. She said, I don't want you to leave your wife just because of me. I'm just like,
No mistress has ever
what do
said
you
that.
mean? She said, well, just if you met me, like, would you have known? I'm like, nope.
Googled.
What about our male friend? Where does he stand with her? What's his
Jim?
name?
Jim.
Jim. Thank you.
He worked in the oil field, North Dakota, I believe.
So Jim would be familiar with oil tanks and hatches.
And I guess he's been a friend of hers for a long time. And it's kind of like a shoulder to cry on. Is always somebody that's always been around for her. And
A butt buddy,
he's had a couple girlfriends, and
Nicole included.
Hadn't had much luck, I guess, in that department as far as like keeping girlfriends, and just him and Nikki have always been good friends.
Just platonic friend.
That's
as far as you know.
as much as I knew.
Yeah.
But I think they just been friends for a long time, especially up in oil field, North Dakota, or whatever he's working now. I think either Wyoming, they go all over the place. Yeah, like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh, she
That
did.
was like she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. Should not to contact her until this is done.
Not to contact her until this is done. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's done? Remember David Carter, the prisoner who
Yep.
was in jail with
I'll post that link in the description about this guy.
Chris, and he came out and said that NK, Nicole Kessinger, was writing to him under a different name.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that could be true?
I think
Could
so.
that be who this incident report I'm about to read to you is about? Let's get into that right meow. So ever since
Right
Chris
meow.
Watts was incarcerated, we've always heard that he's been a model prisoner. So you can imagine my shock when I opened up my email and I saw an adult conduct report on Chris Watts. So let's read through this.
Okay.
Inmate name Watts Christopher, DOC number 674796. Inmate living quarters is 1FF15A. He is at DCI, which is Dodge Correctional Facility. Conduct report number is 0017251. Description of incident. During inspection of inmate kiosk emails, I, Sergeant Olamiller, placed an email from inmate Watts Christopher, number 674796, on hold for further review. The email was intended to be sent to the email address redacted,
Blank.
associated to the name
Redacted.
the redacted. During the email, Watts states, quote, "Send those panties. You'll probably have to wring them out first because I soak every pair! Exclamation point. I need you so bad! Exclamation point. I will fuck
Bang!
you so hard! Exclamation point. Redacted. Get to me! Exclamation point." This request is a violation of policy 309.04.04, section 1, subcategory B, states packages which contain allowed or prohibited property or clothing shall be processed in accordance with DAI policy 309.2003. This email is in violation of policy 309.00.50. And section 1, subcategory B, states pornography includes but is not limited to written materials which the average person applying state contemporary community standards would find when taken as a whole does all of the following.
This is weird.
A. Appeals to prurient interest. B. Describes human sexual behavior in a patently offensive way. Captain Arndt was informed of the situation. Per Captain Arndt's review of the email, it was determined a conduct report would best appease the safety and security of the institution. Accompanying the conduct report, the inmate will receive a copy of DOC 0243, notification of non-delivery of mail publication. I have no further information to report at this time. And this was completed by Tiffany Olamiller on 6/16/21. And the code violations were disobeying orders and possession of contraband miscellaneous.
Well, you didn't receive
Finding
it.
of guilt is guilty. Approving supervisor Davis Arndt, and signed by Christopher Watts.
Oh.
Given this is a couple years ago, who knows who he was writing to? Who knows who was offering up their undies?
Gross.
But very, very disgusting.
Very, very.
I mean, extremely disgusting. Which made me think, what about those people that claim they were with Chris Watts? Maybe I need to look at their interviews again. So that's what I did. So join me for the rest of this video as we dive into the alleged mistresses of Christopher Watts.
about how you know Chris?
Yeah, I met on Tinder at the beginning of like March-ish
Okay. Okay. And this was March of
this year.
this year, 2018, and you met on Tinder?
Chris sure was a duper. Looking back now on Shanann's Facebook posts, I know we've all talked about Facebook posts can be fake, but it seems like such a stark difference as to what was going on in Shanann's mind and life.
You
And
can't tell me
maybe what was
Shanann
going on in
didn't know
Chris's.
a good amount of this stuff.
We just like met at the parking lot, Chick-fil-A.
Nothing says romance like Chick-fil-A parking lot.
We just went back to my house and
You both went back to your house? Okay, so
followed me.
which Chick-fil-A was that?
One on Center Place.
On Center Place?
Uh-huh.
So he drove here?
Yeah. And like, it's around like the February, March time period. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm not but
You couldn't
I'm
tell
not
us?
trying to, sound like a whore or not, but I went through a nasty divorce, and my kids are in Vermont, and so I just kind of went wild. And I know it's
whatever.
not safe, and
I'm not gonna judge you for that. That's not the purpose of this meeting, so don't worry about that. Okay, I don't care. So talk to me just a little bit about where you met up. You said at the Chick-fil-A. Did you both drive there? Okay, what was he driving?
It was like so humiliating for me, because the meetup was just about sex. So we kind of just like went and, met him somewhere. And it wasn't like I know it's kind of funny now, but it's like the killer.
How is it funny?
And, no radars went off or anything. And so then it's just like scary. Like,
So she says no radars went off, but yet in an interview she said she was completely taken away because he was aggressive and he put his hand right here and she was scared. But then in this interview she's saying nothing seemed out of the ordinary.
I had this guy in my home, and we, had sex, and he left.
Was that in the truck?
That was in my house. Ate out there, and I got something to drink, and then we just sat down and talked for a little bit. I remember talking to him about the Anadarko, where he worked, because my ex-husband tried to get on with them, but he had a history of like domestic violence and everything, so they wouldn't hire him. And so I remember that conversation, and he was like, "Oh, that's funny." So I just remember that. And then he said that he was like split from his he called baby mama.
Just throwing this out there, I know there's probably people telling me to stop pausing it and stop. I'm putting my 2 cents in because this is a reaction. But I lost my train of thought. This, for me, doesn't make sense. Because in 2018, Facebook was still widely used as it is in today. It's more used today. But if you hear that this man is splitting up or getting a divorce, wouldn't you want to do your little research and find out for sure what he looks like, what he has kids, what does this spouse look like? Wouldn't you want to see if he's actually telling the truth or lying? Wouldn't you go to the Facebook posts and see that they weren't separating? That Shanann said all these good things about her husband, that he was the best husband and dad ever and stuff like that? Just saying.
He called baby mama, and she wouldn't let him see his kids. And I remember kind of clicking with him about that, because my boys are in Vermont with my ex-husband, and it's been a nasty battle. And so, recognized the face and everything.
Okay. Tell me about his tattoos.
I remember they were on his back and his arms, but other than that,
How did you
like
feel?
pulling my hair and putting his arms around my No, it was like a rape fantasy thing. That's how I, like describe it. And I was really like, I just remember thinking, like, what the fuck when he left.
Things
like,
are not adding up
actually
here.
had to like push him off me at one point.
And was there nudge talk for 20 minutes, or was it just nudge and then all of a sudden you're on top of her?
No, it's pretty much on top.
Okay, so that happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, I crawled back. I got on my side of the bed.
Uh-huh.
And I just like nudged her like that.
Oh, okay. And then you're talking while you're on top of her?
Mhm.
Okay. That seems confusing to me. Is that actually what happened? Okay. And so...
And she was fine, like just laying there, like you trying to talk to her while you're on top of her?
Maybe thought we were going to have sex again or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how long did you talk?
About 15, 20 minutes.
Really? In that position? Okay. And was there any sex?
No.
Okay.
Maybe she basically from the position that we're in, maybe she thought maybe I'd try to go again. I don't know.
Okay. And I don't harp on it too much, but I'm just trying to think, if my wife's 4 months pregnant and it's 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yep.
and I want to talk and I want to get on top of her, that's just not going to fly. So that's why I'm confused. So, is that really what happened? Okay. And then talk for about 15 minutes, and then it's heated, and then
So this is when he's talking about his wife, not this Amanda girl.
hands are on her neck. Okay. All right.
Did she ever say at some point, get off of me or anything like that?
At the end.
Saying that, and then the Anadarko conversation I'm yelling to, kind of conversations that we really, really had.
Okay, so he told you he worked for Anadarko, and was that before or after you met him?
This
In person, I mean,
This was during
during, well,
our meeting, yeah, at Chick-fil-A.
at Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
Okay. Did he ask you what you did
Yeah, I did hair.
for Supercuts?
No, I'm on Great Clips in Portland.
That's where you're at now?
Mhm.
Okay. And were you at Great Clips at that same time you met him?
Yes.
Okay.
So do you believe Amanda?
Nope.
Let me know what you think.
Nope.
I feel like she's genuine. I never gave her interview that much credibility or attention when this case first happened. I thought she was like Trent, just someone coming out of the woodwork. I'm not sure what to think anymore. But what's really interesting about the very last part of this interview, when he asks her if she's still at Supercuts or if she worked at Supercuts when she met Chris Watts, and she says yes. Shanann Watts' friend, Nicole Atkinson, was a manager at Supercuts. And it's rumored that they did know each other. Apparently, Amanda worked for Nicole Atkinson.
What?
Did Amanda say anything to Nicole Atkinson about her escapades with Chris? Did she put the connection together? One has to wonder how small this circle really was.
This is creepy.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki. So what was that?
Nico was actually named that Shanann liked.
Okay. Shanann thought of that one?
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O. I thought it was like Nico that way.
Mhm.
But she said N-I-C-O. And I thought it was like Nico or something.
Okay.
I guess Nico is more of like an Italian name.
Italian, yeah.
So, and like Chidley for, my middle name and my dad's and all that. But like Nico is like, that's the name that she always liked.
So pretty creepy that Nico Lee spells Nicole. Is this just another creepy coincidence in this case? We're going to conclude the video with a couple of more clips where Chris talks about Nicole Kessinger.
I'm literally learning things every single day. I didn't know the whole Nicole. I heard rumors about the Nicole or the Nico on Nicole possibly being similar, but I didn't know that the middle name was spelled out Nicole. I'm learning stuff every single day still with this case.
And I found these interesting.
She accused you of cheating at that point?
Mm-hmm.
So what'd she say?
Like I knew there was somebody else. I didn't come out to say that there is somebody else, but she obviously already knew.
And your response to that was what? Did you say no, there's not? Did you deny it?
I believe I just denied it, but I mean, at that point, that always, because when she would accuse me at the beach, it was a lot of like, there's nobody else, there's nobody else, or like, and when we got back home, she always like said, there's got to be somebody. There's nowhere else. I mean, she couldn't really say that we'll get anywhere else because I was using those Antarctica gift cards, so it's kind of like, she just made me getting distant, but she knew, and that's mainly the reason why I talked to her, because I knew, like, after that night, it was just like, it felt like, I just felt guilty, more guilty than ever before.
And yet you offed
So
her
I
off.
delete everything. And I didn't delete everything. Okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
I wonder if his phone was investigated, like all the information, text messages and photos and stuff like that, with Nicole and stuff like that, because she deleted all her stuff, but I don't know if he deleted all his stuff. That'd be interesting to see what was on his phone.
She told you to delete everything?
delete all conversations.
Did she tell you why?
She just said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
Did when your dad came in, one of the first things you guys talked about, he said, kind of quietly, I cheated on her, I cheated on Shan or something. Your dad didn't know until that time?
No, when I was in North Carolina on August 6th, when I spent most of the day with my parents and my sister and everybody, they had, I told them something this, I don't think this is going to work, with what happened with the nuts and everything, and they're not being able to see the kids, they're this is the first time they had talked to me, and pretty much.
Oh, because you went 3 weeks or something, right?
Yeah, because Shannon told me to call him while I was at the beach just to smooth everything out, because she was like, all right, whatever's going on in your head, you need to fix this. But she didn't want she didn't want the kids to see him, she didn't want to see him. And then when I did see him on August 6th, it was after I went and saw my grandmother. She's in 5 weeks alone, that's the only reason really that was almost even allowed to happen.
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being, Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there in the basement.
She was there. So the extreme is, she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. What would you say to those people?
She had her moments where I had to talk her off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
I guess after the fact, there was videos of her that she was recording herself because she was bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just she came to my house once because I think it was July 4th. I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't get up at 4 o'clock and go home. Mm-hmm. And Shannon called me 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. And I was just and she was pissed. Shannon was pissed. And I called her outside, where are you at? What? I was I didn't have to work today. It's you called me at 5:30. It's the kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm I was sleeping. She's she just screw you, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside, something I gotta go. And she was just okay, are you coming back? I'm probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place
Yeah.
when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
The first holiday I ever had off. And, Shanann was pissed, and, kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left, but I think that's when I called Nikki later, and she was she kind of realized that, she'd always be the second, she said second fiddle. She said she would go on websites and look at will a relationship work with somebody, will a mistress work, will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you heard
When
that?
she was.
Yeah, And she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see other people's experience.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like, you know, in August, like the first week of August, when I told her, like, you know, I had that talk with her about separation. That's when, like, she started looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like, you know, it will actually work. She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she already made a decision.
And in another interview, she did state that she told none of her friends, which is bullcrap. She told her friend Nikki, or Brittany over here. That's a lie.
So, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family? Are you sure? Okay. And no
He's
part
doing
of
that
any of this
lying
was
thing.
because she put it in your head or asked you to, or
No, she never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
I mean, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, you know, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, you know, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
That 5-second pause was legit the investigators pausing after he said that. This is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Let me know what you guys think.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Yes, she
Shanann was
did.
pregnant?
It was all over Facebook. She saw it. They posted it on there that they were having a baby boy. And Nicole saw it. That's what pissed her off.
And he answers that so fast. Listen to that again.
Yes.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
Bull.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't tell her. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook. Like, how did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she didn't. She just was waiting for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Lies.
So let me know what you think in the comment section below after watching all of this. I know it was a lot to unpack. I want to thank you all for being here. And as always, give that thumbs up.
She did a good
and
job.
I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more.
She did a great job and with more of the information, stuff like that. But even listening to this last little bit of this interrogation with Chris and stuff like that, it's putting a big, huge spectrum, even more focused, that Nicole Kessinger, I didn't want to say did like a mob thing, was like, yeah, have her sleeping with the fishes, put a hit out on her. She put in his mind that in that 111-minute phone call, I guarantee, if you don't do this, if you don't get rid of this, if you don't take care of this, we cannot be together. I have a feeling, yes, again, I don't think she was... I have mixed feelings about her being physically on to them. Like the girls, possibly she was the one that did the little girls, and then Chris was doing shenanigan. But her bipolarness and her being in this relationship with Chris caused the deaths of those girls and baby Nico. I am without a doubt still 100% convinced that Nicole was an accessory to these murders. And even the investigators, they're saying, they're getting a whole bunch of people telling them Nicole should be watched, Nicole should be looked into, Nicole should be more investigated. Why did they not do this? This case needs to be reopened, reanalyzed, reinvestigated. Bring her in, question her with the, what's it called? The lie detector test. They did it to Chris. And again, with all these other mistresses and whatever have you, I think those are completely hogwash. I think they're just there to get the visual off of Nicole. But again, it's all comes down to your theories and opinions until things reopen. Hopefully we see the light. I mean, we just found out Tupac's killer. And how long ago was that? Just throwing that out there. We just finally got Tupac's killer. And it was how many years? Just saying. So comment your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know if you have your theories, your opinions. I'd love to hear them. If you guys are new here, let me know. Subscribe, like for more videos. If you guys are returning, let me know some more. Again, I'm learning stuff more and more every single time I watch these videos. And a lot of you guys are sending me videos, which I appreciate. I love watching them. I love getting into the zone about these and focusing on more about these. So keep them coming on Instagram or Facebook. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So keep it real, keep it safe. And as always, keep nerding on. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.